Rest is not a luxury, it is a necessity. You need to recharge your brain, body, and mind just like you need to charge your phone. And I'm telling you, you either learn this today or you'll burn out very soon. If you think that scrolling for 2 hours on Instagram or TikTok is a relaxing activity, I need to disappoint you because it's not. You're not resting, you're just escaping the reality. In this video, you'll learn what is rest, how to rest, why do you need to rest, and also I'll give you my favorite tips how you can start resting today. What actually rest is? Rest is not just sleep. If you think that you rest when you sleep, it's true, you rest, but that's not the only rest that exists. Rest is any activity or pause from an activity that allows your brain, body, and mind to fully recharge and gain the energy that was lost during performing all the other activities that drain the energy. So, rest means recharging, not being lazy or not productive or anything that this world is trying to teach you about true rest, that you can only rest when you really can't keep going and you should not rest because that's not productive. That's all BS and you need to learn how to rest. That's why we're gonna break it down further. When I mention lazy or passive rest, what I talk about is doom scrolling on your couch for 3 hours, not realizing that you're actually draining yourself, your precious energy that's left. Rather than recharging the battery, you end up even more tired than when you started scrolling. This is because your brain will be overstimulated and you will not actually have the time to stop and let everything go and focus on yourself, your thoughts, and ways how you can move yourself forward rather than being stuck where you are. On the other hand, when you just lie on the couch with your eyes closed and you just chill for 5 minutes and you don't let any thoughts block your relaxing and your recharging, just imagine the plug somewhere in your back or wherever you like. Think about how the energy is coming in when you just focus on the present moment and not think about anything else that's draining the energy from you during the day. So if you remember just one thing from this video, it is that rest is an intentional reset. It's not passive, lazy lying around just to rest. It's something that gives you back what you need, the energy to keep going. We have just learned that the rest is your fuel that you truly need to keep going, and also rest is productive. So for all those productivity lovers out there who think that resting is something that they should not be doing, they should keep hustling, they should keep doing more, rest is the most productive thing that you can do, and it's not a reward, it's your responsibility. It's something that you have to do for yourself if you want your body to bring you returns on the investment, which is the rest you give to your body. And the more you rest the right way, the better results you will see in your life because you will truly recharge. And this is not about, as I said, lying around doing nothing. It's about letting your brain to relax. And our brain will keep going until we die, that's for sure. But the activities we engage in allow the brain to reset, to restore the peace of mind we really need. The reason why we feel guilty when we want to rest is because we are living these busy lifestyles with so many distractions around us in the digital world, but also in day-to-day life with people around us, that gives us the feeling that we constantly need to stay alert and that we need to make sure that everything's all right and we need to control things. And the rest we need in this situation, the productive rest we all need, is living in the present moment without worrying too much about things that already happened, that we can't change anymore, but that they are still nudging on our attention, trying to get our attention and let us think about stuff that already happened, or living in the future, planning all the time, thinking about how things will be, how we try to make sure that everything's gonna go as we want, but that's not gonna happen. So the best thing we can do to truly rest is to get ourselves in the present moment and to feel truly grounded where we are right now. And then this can be 1 minute rest, it can be 5 minute rest, it can be a whole activity with other people or alone. We'll be talking about this, but it just means that you're not focused on things that already happened or things that will just happen. There are different types of rest and we all need a different combination. This is very personal. It depends on your lifestyle, on your personal situation, on many different things. But the indicator if you're resting right is when you come back to do the work, to do those energy demanding tasks, you feel refreshed, you feel restored with extra energy. And this is something that you can see only if you try and see what works the best for you. The first category is physical rest, and this is the most obvious one. It is sleep, it is naps, it is lying down for a bit without your phone, of course. And this type of rest is the one that our body lets us know very clearly that this is something what we need. If we are unable to keep going, we just need to sleep more. If you just study late at night, pull several all-nighters several days, you will need a lot of physical rest, for example. The second category is mental rest, and these are breaks between tasks. This is when everyone is talking about the Pomodoro technique. So you work for 25 minutes and we have 5-minute break. So this is the mental break, mental rest that you were supposed to have, which doesn't mean, again, to scroll on social media for those 5 minutes. This type of rest is required between tasks because we are not robots, we can't work 24/7, and we need these mental breaks to ensure that our brain has the time to switch between tasks naturally. This doesn't mean when we do too many things at the same time, because we can't really multitask based on science. Mental rest is also brain dumping your thoughts, making sure that your brain is clear of anything that requires your attention so you can't really concentrate. This is quite nice to just blurt down anything that bothers you and just leave it aside, and you suddenly have a clear mind. This also means journaling. This means getting rid of anything that blocks your full focus and attention. And I was talking about focus and importance of focus and how you can focus more in this video, so definitely check it out if that's something that's interesting to you. For me personally, a physical exercise is a really good combination of physical and mental rest. I don't think that's an official category, but I really love exercising. First of all, it's a great way for me how to mentally recharge, but also to give my body a boost of energy. So I really love exercising, lifting, anything in the gym, home workouts, anything that makes your heart race and your blood is pumping and you just feel amazing. I think that's such a great combination of these two types of rest. And one could say that it's not a rest, you're doing physical activity, but at the same time, if you're focused on the exercise and do not let the worries come in when you're in the gym, you are resting. You are resting in a way that you come back and you have again the energy to keep going. Another type of rest is sensory rest, and this rest is when we disconnect from the screens. This is something I struggle with, and this is something I want to incorporate in the new school year, is that I want to set an alarm in the evening, after which I do not want to use any electronics, because it happened to me a lot last year, and it keeps happening to me that the last couple of minutes before going to bed, I still spent on my phone or watching something or reading something. And I want to replace this habit with reading, let's say, something not digitally, but real book or an ebook or listening to an audiobook. There are alternatives, but we need to have this sensory rest too, because of the sleep hormone melatonin that needs to be present for us to sleep well. We don't want any extra impulses to do things in the evening when we try to unwind and get ready to bed. Part of the sensory rest is also dimming lights and ensuring that there is silence before you go to bed, so not blasting some loud music. And it's about getting to the state where you're relaxed and you can go to bed, and then you will do both sensory rest followed by physical rest. In the morning, you can do the mental rest through journaling or any other writing activity. And this is how you rest throughout the day, and you don't make it just something that happens because you're forced to do it, because you already are burning out and you see that you can't keep going like this. You incorporate rest slowly in different parts of your day. It can be 5 minutes, it can be 1 minute, but you are resting throughout the day when you truly can't do anything else because you're just on the edge of tears. That's too late to start resting. We live in a culture of constant productivity when action and when doing and when being busy is rewarded, and you feel guilty when you rest. But here's the truth: without rest, you burn out, you're tired, you're lazy, and in the long run, you're losing out. Another category of rest is creative rest, and this means doing things like arts, painting, drawing, playing piano, playing other music instruments, reading, listening to music, going to nature. All these activities fall into the bucket of creative rest. Another category is social rest, and this is when you feel like you truly need to be alone. You need to disconnect from other people, but this doesn't mean that you are going to be antisocial and that you're not going to socialize for a long period of time. This just might mean that when someone asks you out on Friday night to go for a date or Well, yeah, okay, you could go to a date. Let's say it's a party and your friends ask you to go to the party, but you feel like you had a really tough week and you would prefer journaling and then listening to some relaxing music, having a face mask. Then this is the social rest that's needed. That you need to just disconnect from other people and make some time for yourself. Last but not least category that's very important for everything, even for the physical rest. And this one is spiritual rest. Spiritual rest is about prayer, it's about meditation, mindfulness, it's about connecting with the one that's bigger than you and being grateful and realizing that rest is also given from him and you do not have to worry. If you feel like you need rest, just tell him Jesus is here for you. Spiritual rest is about connecting with God and connecting with your inner self too, and listening to him, listening to the Holy Spirit, and ensuring that all areas of lives are where they are supposed to be. So do not neglect this type of rest, because this is what will get you ahead. Here's the truth: without rest, you burn out, you don't have any energy, and you're losing out in the long term. Not only that, you can also create health issues for yourself. On the other hand, when you learn how to rest properly, you get more energy, better focus, more creativity, emotional stability. You gain so much. There are two extremes. One thing that rest is a reward they can only afford if they are on the edge, when they really can't keep going. And there are others that think that rest is lazy and rest is something that's a waste of time. But I'm telling you, rest is an investment for your future, investment for your well-being, an investment to become the person you want to be. And without rest, it's not possible. You can buy 100 products to feel better, but none of it is going to help you if you don't learn how to rest. Many people fall into the trap when they tell themselves that they will rest when they are done. But they will never be done. There will always be something that's not going to be done. And I'm telling you too, because I feel like we are in this together. Slowing down is what you need to do to keep running the marathon of your life. If it was a sprint, then okay, let's decide to run together as fast as possible, and then we can rest in peace. But our life is a marathon, and to enjoy it and to properly live it to the fullest, we need to ensure that we have these recharge stations throughout the day, not just at one specific point, after work or after school on the couch scrolling. That's not rest. Now I have for you my favorite ways how I rest, but I always want to learn more, so please let me know in the comments your favorite ways how you like to rest. My top favorite is definitely spending time in nature or any greenery, anywhere that there are some trees. I'm very happy that I live close to the forest, so I go to the walks often, and when I'm in Amsterdam, then I have a park very, very close to my house, so I go there often, sometimes with music, sometimes without, because both have benefits. I really love listening to podcasts, which is what I'm going to talk about next, but sometimes it's just nice to just walk and listen to the sounds around you, listen to your own thoughts, pray, talk to God. There are many different ways that you can do, but when you're surrounded with the trees, with the greenery, you feel so much better. And there is research about it, how walks in nature prolong your life, how your blood pressure decreases, and how you feel amazing. So if you incorporate one way how to rest, definitely go for walks to forest more often. Other way how I like to rest is reading, and I love to read. I've been reading so many books when I was younger, and now I feel guilty that I don't have time. But that's, of course, bullshit, because I do have time. We all have 24 hours, and I want to make more time for reading this next school year, and not just self-improvement books or books that teach me skills, how to do business, how to sell, how to do marketing, and all these type of things that I love to read about, but also I want to go back to some good fiction books, something that allows me to escape this world and go back to the other worlds. I love to read fantasy, so this is something I really want to incorporate more into next academic year. Good podcast is another way how you can rest, and again, this doesn't have to be self-improvement. I love those, but sometimes it's good to just listen to some chats of people. Sometimes it's just nice to listen to one or two people chatting about a topic you're interested in. It doesn't have to be all about self-improvement and getting better, because this happens to me that sometimes I go for a walk, I listen to a really good podcast that's jam-packed with so much great advice, but then I come back and I'm like, this was just another class. I was learning so much, but I needed to rest in a way that I let my brain just work on its own without any extra input. So be careful when you're choosing books and podcasts for your rest periods, because you need something that really allows you to rest. As I already mentioned, exercise is something that gives me both the physical rest and mental rest and clarity, and I just can't say how amazing exercising is, and fitness and moving your body. Anything physical that makes your muscles work gives you so much energy for anything that lies ahead of you. So I mentioned the walks, but if you want to level up and challenge yourself, then start doing more exercise, work out in the gym, work out at home, try calisthenics. Resistance training is the best thing in the world, and I know many of you will agree. Blotting down all your thoughts and writing down anything that you carry with you all day around on a piece of paper or to a Notion page or a blank Google Doc allows your brain to breathe with clarity, and you gain focus and energy, because there will not be things that just they're somewhere at the back of your mind. You know that you should do them. They might not be important to do them right now, but because they are in your head and they are not on the paper, you can't truly focus on things. And this is a great way how to rest. So you just blurt every single thought on a piece of paper, and you suddenly feel clarity and motivation, because you'll see it on the paper and you're like, okay, let's work on this. And then you get the energy and you can start working. This doesn't have to be just things you need to do. It can be something that's upcoming that bothers you or that gives you anxiety. Let's say you have a difficult conversation ahead of you, so you can imagine this conversation happening and plan your response, but do it in a natural way. So don't try to plan your answer word for word and then memorize it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about getting rid of this pressure you have in your brain that you created yourself, and that you can get rid of by writing things down and by letting your brain discharge all the material that's been carried around and just rest. A great mental rest, but also sensory rest, is self-care. So having a face mask, taking care of yourself, having a hot water bath. I don't think these need more comments. Just taking care of yourself. Scheduling this into your calendar that, okay, every Saturday morning I'm gonna have a face mask, and it's gonna happen after breakfast when I read one page of my favorite fiction book. You see, I just created a perfect plan for you, so let's just implement it together. If you do not want to take a nap and you don't have that much time, then just lying down for 2 minutes with closed eyes, not thinking about anything, just focusing on the present moment, can give you this small physical rest, like a micro break. And then you can go back to work. And I think this is such a good thing, because I thought that I need a proper nap or I need sleep for 2 hours, but I do not. Sometimes it's just about lying down, closing your eyes, and do not focusing on anything else except the present moment. Great way how to rest in any moment of your day is to be fully present. As I mentioned throughout this video, imagine you make a cup of tea, and rather than while you're doing the cup of tea, thinking about 100 other things, listening to loud music, replying to a message on your phone, be truly present and focus on making the tea, focus on drinking the tea, be just there with the tea and think about the tea, think about the present moment. Don't get distracted by things that are going to happen, the things that already happened, but focus on the present moment, and you will see how when you get back from this moment of being so present and mindful, how you feel rested because you connected with the moment rather than living somewhere far away in the future or in the past. That's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up so you'll not miss any other video. And I'll be looking forward to seeing you next time. Bye.